having only now 8 teams in the LCS is just not. It just doesn't feel right to me. I get it. I definitely get it. Why and they did welcome to Kings of the Rift, your source for competitive League of Legends news and opinions. I'm your host, Gold Knight, and we're going to talk about some things today that are actually going to be, to me, just kind of insane. We're looking towards the actual season of what's it 14 now, and or season 2024, depending on how you really decide to take it. And it's looking like the LCS is maybe dying. I'm not really sure. Let's jump into that and figure it out.
North America is sick when it comes to League of Legends, and I intend to fix that.
So it seems like there are 2 teams that are completely out of the League of Legends scene right now, and that has actually turned into Golden Guardians, which weirdly enough was one of my favorite teams coming into everything here, and then Evil Geniuses, which honestly for Evil Geniuses, good riddance. I'm not liking the way that they kind of dealt with everything, especially with Danny and the way that they made him play, even though he was feeling like he literally was mentally not in the right spot, and they knew that. There's a whole bunch of different stuff. Go watch Thorin's stuff on the Danny situation and all that to try to really hone in on what that is all about. But honestly, it is crazy to me. I honestly just think that having only now 8 teams in the LCS is just not. It just doesn't feel right to me. I get it. I definitely get it why they did it. I think they're only going to, weirdly enough, I think they're only going to be going for, best of ones still. But I think, honestly, if you do best of ones, maybe spring or something like that, and then summer do best of threes or best of twos even, something like that. Because we have less teams playing, then, I mean, why not, right? Like, I honestly think that that could be something that you take a look and really push forward, for what's actually looking like the best thing going forward to to the rest of 2024 into 2025, especially since the LCS just seems like we are not at any kind of possibility of even making it to world semifinals, world's finals, anything like that. So it's kind of a weird thing and almost like a I don't want to say it's a punishment. It does kind of feel like a punishment that they just said, well, all right, then, the league's not making enough money, that kind of stuff there. It just seems like it's really strange. It looks like, I don't know, dude. It really is bad because one of the things that when they did it, I mean, this was back in November. It's January now. And it feels really bad that they were able to, that they just kind of messed up with the actual, of the timing of everything, because it was the day of the free agency signing and everything. And people had basically one day to actually get in there and find a new team. But already at that point, though, when they were going to find a new team or something like that, the players who were already signed to Golden Guardians and Evil Geniuses just didn't really have time to, or they didn't even really have the ability to go with another team because that other team had already verbally committed to someone else, or they had gotten to some contract, actual contracts with them, and it just doesn't feel right that they just kind of just made the decision super quick. If they wanted to actually do this, I mean, it could have been a long, drawn out problem. They could have said, all right, let's hear a thing, this and that. It could have been some kind of issue there, but I don't know. It seems like the teams, from what I was seeing, it seems like the teams really wanted out, and that the teams really approached Riot about that, is from what I've been gathering here. So, I mean, it's frustrating to me. I think it could be Could be something that we actually, look. I don't want to say look forward to, but maybe we can make those spots, those 2 extra spots, we make those into like like the old kind of relegation spots. I mean, it was in the past. It was the bottom 2 teams were always, able to be relegated out of the league, and then new teams were able to be brought in if they ended up winning the relegation tournament. That was honestly, it felt like the peak of League of Legends back then. But of course, it led to issues like Cloud9 basically building a spot with like a sister team in the relegation scene, or in the what they called the challengers scene at that point. And the top challengers teams would end up being able to go into the relegation tournament, which would be the bottom 2 of the um, of the actual like of the LCS, and the top 2 of the challenger, and they would go against each other, and then whoever ends up like the top 2, basically this first and second place, ends up in the LCS, which was great. But C9 would take teams. That's actually where FlyQuest itself came from. Is a Cloud9 team that got put together. I think it was like Cloud9 Blue or something like that. Cloud9 White maybe. And what they did was they brought together. It was Balls, Lemonation. Well, sorry. We'll start from the top. It was Balls in that team? Actually, I don't know if he was in the FlyQuest team. He might have been at that time. But they had High in the mid lane. They had Lemonation as support, because they'd already at this point moved on from him. But like the amount, like it was basically a Cloud9 built system. Then they basically took the spot and they sold it off to someone else, and that's how Cloud9 made a lot of. It seemed like, at least, that's how they made a lot of their money during that time there, because they were able to sell off their spots, or sell off that team, or that kind of stuff. In the relegation, actually in the relegation area. So I don't know. I think it was a really interesting situation that they were in back then. But I think the bottom 2 teams having something like this, and having the ability to be kind of kicked out, would be great. I think you'd bring in the top 2, NACL like teams, bring them in here, get them going, get them constant kind of exposure to the LCS level players, as well as you're able to then take it and showcase the talent on an actual higher level. The NACL is a good broadcast and everything, but there's not enough eyes on it, I don't think, for the actual bringing up of the NA futures, really. And it just kind of it's frustrating, I feel, to look at it and just see, well, there's not enough eyes, so we have to do something about it. And I think this would be the perfect way that you could actually take the eyes from the LCS and just push them over to NACL for a little bit. But it wouldn't actually just be NACL. It wouldn't just be the top 2 teams fighting against each other or whatever. It'd be one of the top 2 teams from NACL versus Immortals, or one of the top 2 NACL teams versus Cloud9, or whoever. And honestly, I think that really sets them up for a bit of a better situation going forward. Even though, like, there's definitely times where an NACL team will just get completely just destroyed by a team that is actually in the LCS. I can see that happening 100% of the time. But imagine the time that an actual NACL team goes up and beats a like mid to high level LCS team. I think that will be crazy hype. It will change the whole idea of what the actual, what a good LCS player is, what anything like that kind of works. And I think it honestly could make it so that you can actually, you can market a little bit better. Be like, are they actually going to win? Like, they've already won this other team. They've already won this game. How's it going to work going forward, kind of a thing. I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be interesting to see if we can actually get into it and do it that way. But I don't know. So there's a couple other there's a couple other issues or kind of updates that they've had over the bit of time here that I've been away. And one of the things definitely has been that the new LCS commissioner has been crowned. And that actually went to Mark Z, which is awesome. Mark Zimmerman, who has been on the broadcast and everything for a while there. He's on like um, the analyst desks there. He's a caster. All this. He's been basically everything throughout the LCS. He's been from I don't think he was a player. Maybe he was a player, like way back. He was a coach. He was a GM. He was a part of like team management type stuff. Um, then he went to Riot. Was helping out with them, doing all the different kinds of stuff. So he's had his fingers in a lot of the pots, which honestly to me tells me that he's probably the best person for the role right now. And the cool thing is he's actually a person. Like we actually know who this person is. No shade to Jackie or to um, whoever Grisham was at one point or whatever. But like, who we didn't really see them. We didn't really see what was going on there behind the scenes. Where I think we will get a lot more positivity when it comes to positivity and also visibility when it comes to Mark Z being in this position. Compared to anybody else because he actually wants to be on camera. He likes to be on camera. I mean, it seems like he likes to be on camera, but he seems like he can really be open with us because he's just a guy. He's just a dude that likes League of Legends like us. So I think that's a really good thing to see here, and I think that's something that going forward I can really. I am actually really interested in seeing how the league itself kind of changes now that Mark is in charge. I mean, he has obviously people to report to and all this, but as a commissioner, he is able to change this and change that, and I can see him doing some really good stuff. But obviously, we won't know until we get into it how it really looks going forward. So I do think it'd be interesting to see what he does with all this, which I'm glad to see, honestly. We are having for our first week of the LCS, we have a couple different matchups. Let's see if we can we find those real quick. They popped them up and then they were like, well, actually, they were like, I don't know, and then it just didn't work. So it was frustrating. Let's see if anybody put anything out here. It looks like that seems like this might be. We don't wait. Really? Okay. Well, so all right, we're good. So it looks like we actually do have the first 2 days of the actual regular season schedule, and it looks like we're going to start off the season or this split at least, spring 2024, with Team Liquid and 100 Thieves. Honestly, I think that's going to be great. Team Liquid kept a lot of their core roster, changed it up, and added in Impact, which, oh, thank God, because I love Impact. He's a great player. I've missed him. He's come home. And then in the jungle, they got Umpty, who I'm not very familiar with. I do have to take a look and see kind of what he has done. I know the name is the thing. I think they were actually trying to get him last split too before Piosik, and then they kind of fell apart. They're like, whatever. Maybe he had to go to like military service, something like that. But they got Umpty now, so great, awesome. And then they kept the mid through bot there, which is very cool. 100 Thieves bringing in General Sniper and all of that. General Sniper, they keep Quid. They actually got rid of their jungler, and I believe their jungler is something strange. Oh geez. Because it's not closer. Let me see. They have. Where is it? Come on. It's not. I just like I'm trying to find the actual like their announcement thing. Okay, right here. So they got sniper, which cool, general sniper, young guy, all this different stuff. They have river. River's awesome. I'm glad. I mean, since he was able to be picked up. Actually, I think he got picked up before the Golden Guardians implosion. So that's great. They have Quid in the jungle, or Quid in the mid there. They have Meech and Ayla. So Ayla, we obviously know that's I think his name's William, Bill, I think his name is. And then Meech is actually a really young player as well. This is actually one of the younger squads here. And 100 Thieves, I think, will be good. Meech is pretty crazy from what I've seen. River's great, and I think he'll be good being able to help out Sniper. Um, but I'm just interested in kind of seeing how it works out with the difference between Sniper having resources and Meech having resources, that kind of stuff there. Um, I can kind of see it, like which way does River go? That could kind of be interested in seeing. Sniper can make his own, advantages, but in the LCS, a lot of times when we've seen these guys who are prodigies, that kind of stuff, like Viper, like when we had Revenge come in, all this different stuff, it's like, oh, these guys are gonna be amazing, they're gonna be so perfect, they're gonna be awesome, and then they come in and they just kind of, it's like, well, all right, now what, kind of a thing. They're not able to get really anything rolling, so I don't know. But looking forward, we have, let's see here, let's see. Then we have for the next one, we have Cloud9 versus NRG. Cloud9 has Jojo now, which is crazy, I think. I just don't know even, like, really what the deal is here. Jojo is a great player, especially that they're able to get him in the mid lane for LCS. That's definitely something that I'm interested in seeing where it really kind of goes. He is a big personality for C9. Is that what they can use? I mean, they already have Fudge, they have Blabber, they got Berserker. I believe they even kept Sven left. And who did they take? Vulcan. Yes, they got Vulcan. That's a crazy team, actually. Like that is an actual insane team altogether. Cloud9 is probably going to be top 2. At some point, I think actually as we get closer, I will actually put on I'll put together an actual like ranking and stuff like that. We'll do a ranking on, maybe the stream or on the podcast, that kind of stuff there. We'll get to kind of rolling and see how that works there. But I think them against NRG is just going to be just something that I think, like NRG, yeah, they have, they have Dokla, they have, who else do they have? Let's see. Oh, jeez. Just trying to find who they actually have as their players here. Because all I'm seeing, looking at their Twitter right now, they have a lot of Valorant stuff, which is great. Energy's, Valorant is great. Do they have an Energy League too? I think they do. I think they have actual. There we go. Energy League. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. They have Dokla. They have Contracts, Palafox, Huhi, and FBI. I don't know why they did it that way. Huhi, then FBI. I don't know. Actually, weirdly enough, on my cup here, it's a League cup. And it actually has support and then ADC. So I'm like, I don't really know. Is that like the new thing? Honestly, it might be, and maybe that's just the way it is. But that looks like that's their team. Pretty much the same. They changed up. Who is it for? Was it, I forget exactly who their support was, but Huhi's great. I love seeing Huhi come in here and actually do some good work here. The rest of the team very solid. I mean, obviously they did well and won the league there. So that's something. Like that's great. I'm glad that they were able to. Um, but let's see here. Then we have after that FlyQuest and Shopify Rebellion, which Shopify Rebellion is actually TSM from last year, and their whole stuff is weird. Um, but let's see, FlyQuest obviously they're Whippo, great top laner, Inspired, great jungler, Jensen, great mid laner. Not been too great as of recent years, but he like definitely has the potential. And I think if any team can really do it, I think FlyQuest can for him. And then Masu and Lucio. Masu is the NACL player, so great. Like I'm glad to see that he's getting the ability to to do that. He's 19, it looks like. So cool. That's awesome. Like I'm glad to see that he's getting picked up, and that's awesome. And then Bucio's Bucio. Good, good support. Not amazing, but maybe with these pieces he'll be good. Then obviously you have the Shopify Rebellion team. Shopify Rebellion, which looks like it's going to be Fake God, Boogie, Insanity, Bevoy, and Zazel. Honestly, this is a weird team for me. It literally feels like because it is. It feels like this is a team that they kind of just threw together. Insanity is the focal piece, obviously. They kept Boogie from TSM, and also Insanity, obviously. But they brought in Zazel, which I honestly thought Zazel needed an up and coming, support spot. I think that's honestly great. And then obviously they brought in Fake God and Bevoy. Bevoy, I can't even remember who. Bevoy was on something else. What was he? I forget exactly who he was part of before. But it was just insane. Like he was something else. Pain Gaming, he was for a while there, but then I think before he was on something else too. I don't know. I think but it's good though because actually, so Revan, who is their actual, their coach is for Shopify Rebellion. Used to play with, or not play, but used to coach B-Boy, so he knows him, knows all that kind of stuff there. So that's I think really cool to see. And then Fake God, we'll see how he does again. The last time I think we saw him was in like 100 Thieves a couple years ago, like actually in the LCS. Or no, was he in Dignitas? I think he might have been in Dignitas. I think he was. But I don't know. Regardless, I think it's really interesting to see. I think it'll be a good time. I think they'll actually they're not gonna be a great team, but they're gonna be okay. Unless Insanity can just pop off like he's done, like he was able to just randomly do throughout the last, like I think it was the summer split. He was just popping off randomly, and you're like, why is Insanity the best player like in the league? It seems like it was crazy, honestly. So if Insanity can get rolling and everything, Boogie can enable him. Great. I don't think I've ever seen a B-Boy clip before, so if he's great, great. If not, then I mean, who knows? And then of course the last match of the day for the first day is going to be Dignitas versus Immortals. Two teams that I don't think we really have much of a woohoo for. Dignitas, it's gonna be who? Let's see. Can we figure out who LCS team is? Do they have a Dig League Twitter? They do. Dignitas LOL. Alright, cool. So it's Rich. Okay, so Rich was obviously their top laner. He was the guy from Here's the Storm. The faker of HOTS, which I'm like, he didn't seem crazy. There were a couple times where he was like actually really like, oh shit, that was good plays. But in general, Was it his team around him that really wasn't really doing much? Maybe that's part of what it was. You have XU, Dove, Tomo, and Isles. I really like to see what maybe Dove can do. I don't think I've ever seen Dove before. I think he's an import. It looks like he's an import. Yeah. And XU is a local, like I say, a local kid. I believe he's actually an ACL player from North America here, so that's great. Somewhat younger, 22. I say younger. I'm 30 here, and I'm like, oh, you're so young, such a young guy. And Tomo and Isles, we've seen Isles before. I think he was originally on Cloud9 a while ago. Maybe on like their academy team or something like that. But Isles wasn't that bad before, so I think it'll be interesting to kind of see how it goes. And then obviously the Immortals team. Immortals is something else for sure. Let's see here. Do we have an actual, like, you don't pin your post? Pin your actual, like, this is what our team is post, please. Because now I gotta scroll and then I look like an idiot on my own stream here. Like they're showing all like, I mean, I'm glad they're doing like they have like a winter showcase thing that they were doing. Like that's awesome, but like, come on, guys. All right, so it looks like we have Castle in the top lane, Armeo in the jungle, which Armeo, great. I love seeing Armeo. Mask in the mid lane. Don't really know who Mask is. I think he's from LEC. He's Korean, but I think he was last in Korea, or not in Korea, in LCS or LEC. Jeez, what can I get my words right? And then we have Tactical and Ole. They're teaming up again. Great. I like to see it. I don't know if Tactical's it really. I don't know. I see Tactical as maybe already past his prime. I know he was really good when he was on Team Liquid there for a bit. Even on TSM, he was doing good, and then it's just kind of like meh. Like he just kind of fell apart. Feel like when he went to Immortals, he lost. There was like a moment where he lost his mojo in TSM, and then that was it. Like it just seemed like that was the beginning of the end for him. So kind of sucks to see. But I hope he does well. Honestly, I mean I hope I hope every single team does really well. They're able to keep a lot of parity in league, and you're able to actually take it and just move forward going into 2024, 2025, and we're able to actually take it to anybody at Worlds. I don't see any of these rosters other than maybe Cloud9 and maybe NRG's team doing like great at like MSI Worlds, that kind of stuff. Team Liquid, if the bottom lane and like APA can really hold it together, then great, they can maybe make it. But like rest of the stuff doesn't really. None of the other teams really hold up. I feel to the test of the other international teams and stuff. So I think that's really it. I think that is going to do it for this episode, guys. If you enjoyed the episode, definitely take a look in the descriptions here, whether on YouTube, whether you're in Spotify, wherever you are, and just really help me out. Hit subscribe, hit follow, hit whatever it is that you're doing there, and just help me out there. That honestly, you guys want to see these videos, right? You guys are here for a reason. You want to see these, listen to these podcasts. You're also here for a reason. If you hit that subscribe or hit that follow or something like that, I'm going to be in your feed more often. I'm going to be doing stuff hopefully once a week, hopefully once every 2 weeks, that kind of stuff. Once the LCS actually starts and gets going, I'll probably be once a week. We'll see how that really works. Might have to change things up. I don't really know. But we'll see. On that note, guys, I will see you in the next episode. And until then, bye-bye.